working around the house literally all morning, doing some lives, cleaning up my makeup brushes, all the good stuff. So I've already went live on TikTok. I'll drop that in a few hours here on this channel. And I went to the store, got me some more espresso. I was running out of milk and espresso. I was using Maxwell House. I couldn't deal with another cup of a Maxwell House latte. I was going to hit my head against a hard surface if I had to do another Maxwell House latte. So I got some Starbucks espresso, and now I'm good. I'm just exhausted, and I already feel like I ran like 15 laps around the house. So, and I'm exhausted. Yeah, I told you I'm exhausted. There's a lot going on in the Sebastian Rogers case. We're kind of getting into it. I was sitting there. Good morning, me and you. Harley, it's nice to see you. Michelle, it's nice to see you. I was already on TikTok, and we were going through some stuff, and I'm still going through emails. I missed a mess of emails, so I've been going through them all night. It's like it gave me a little bit of anxiety last night, having so many emails unread. I went to bed I read, finally went out about 11 o'clock, woke up at 1, couldn't go back to sleep, read emails for another hour, went back to sleep, woke up at 4:30, and so finally at 4:30 I stayed up and watched videos and read all the emails because there was videos attached to the emails. And I went to bed. I went back to sleep at like 7 and slept for another hour, maybe an hour and a half. I think I got up at 8:30. That was my night last night. The rest of the day. I never eat, well, I keep saying I never eat this crap, but I keep buying it here lately. I don't know what it is. I think it's because when I go to the store, because I never eat anymore. And it's like, I ended up getting all of this like finger food now because I keep forgetting to eat. I start working, and it's like when it's time for me to get up to cook something for myself or to make something for myself, I don't want to make it. So if it's not finger food or something I can throw in the microwave, sour cream and onions. Man, I just use, because this is the one that has the least amount of chemicals in it. Like, you can read the back of this one. You read the back of the other ones, you don't know what you're getting. Like, the back of this one, actually, you can read what's in it. Like, there's very little chemicals in this. When you start getting into all those seasonings and flavors, you start filling this crap. I mean, it already has. I mean, this is about as easy as it gets. Potatoes, vegetable oil, which includes canola, soybean, or sunflower oil, and salt. Like, it's simple. You don't see all this crap that you have to have a freaking medical degree to understand. So that's why I get these. I don't get flavored stuff. I told you I'm really into this. Guys, I don't like these chemicals I'm sorry, I don't trust our government. Not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I don't trust our government anymore. So it's like, I just want natural, okay? Don't tell me what's good for me. Just give me natural stuff. I'm perfectly fine knowing what's in my stuff. If I know what's in my stuff, I'm good. I'm good. I don't have to worry about the FDA for nothing. So that's just me, okay? You guys do to each their own. I'm not criticizing you. You guys can sit and laugh at me from afar, but you guys see that it has no chemicals in it. I mean, when have you ever been able to buy a potato chip without a chemical in it? Look at that. You know why? Because you need to go with the original. The original is the best. It's not, you can make fresh dip. When your food has no more than 4 or 5 ingredients max, you're okay. Exactly. So, if I'm going to, what you guys should try to start doing? It's so much easier said than done. I heard making Cheez-Its at home, like, making it from scratch, like with the cheddar and stuff like that. I heard that it's actually a fairly simple process and very healthy. I don't know if all the cheese is healthy, but it's got to be healthier than what you get in the box. I'm just saying. Anyways, we're not even talking about food. How do we get, because I was chomping. I was eating in your face again. Oh my goodness. So we're talking about Sebastian Rogers. And then like today on the TikTok, we started getting in and honing in. People are starting to send me some emails. So, and we have, guys, we've got a camera like right outside of the construction site. That is correct. We literally have a roadway camera right there on I-40 that looks just right there in the direction of their project, which is really neat. So if somebody can send me the archives, where I can find the archived photos of that, I would greatly appreciate it, because I know where to get the regular cameras at. But if they have any place that has archived, like, you know, previous days or weeks or something like that, I'd like to see that. Fun food you eat from name brand stores are always better than when you when made. Yeah, when made at homemade ingredients. Yes, I love my cooking. I just don't like taking. I'm losing the patience for cooking. Well, it's not that I hate wasting food, and so when I cook, I mean, I cook for a lot of people, you know, it's just me. That is one of the hardest things to do, is try to train yourself. When you get a package of meat, you literally got to break it down to individual size, because that's how you're cooking now. And so I waste a lot of food, so I just find it, you know, you get it. I agree, Betty. The government pollutes our food with man-made chemicals, vitamins, hormones, preservatives, etc. Enrich is bad. Yeah. I truly believe, I mean, to be honest with you, it has something to do with me, even like the milk. That's why I got away from milk, because I truly believe that it was milk that overdeveloped me when I was a young girl. I drank milk like crazy. And I mean, I would go through 2 gallons of milk a week alone. I drank milk. And I had no idea how much hormones or anything was in that milk. And it was so young too. I'm new here, Betty. Is honestly our only channel I tolerate after. I know. Well, now they're bashing me. I saw some stuff on that Facebook group that's now like putting me on thumbnails, and it's like, you know what? The only time that they start putting people on thumbnails is when they're a threat to them. So obviously, I'm a threat to them, right? They can't do the reporting that I can. I'm sorry. We have a great group of people here. What can I say? People want answers. They don't want the drama. So we have a channel that wants to find answers and doesn't want the drama. Pretty cut and dry. It's pretty cut and dry. But Chris and Katie, you know, their story we know doesn't make sense. And obviously Katie's is very simple. She was supposed to be home and asleep. We know she wasn't home and asleep. We know she was home, but we know she wasn't asleep. So we're done with her. Seth was at work and on camera. You know, no matter how we look at it, Seth was at work and on camera. Okay. Now, Chris is anonymous. He's vague. He's the one that wants to hide where he's been. He was 3.5 hours away. Why would anybody have a problem telling us where he was if he was 3.5 hours away? It's very simple. I was in my camper sleeping. I had work the next day. Where do you think I was? Not, well, you know, I really can't answer that question because, you know, it goes to the integrity of the investigation and it could really cause problems with it. He spends more time explaining why he can't answer it than just give us the darn answer. It makes no sense. Nobody cares about his timeline if he wasn't there and 3.5 hours away. Just saying. Wait, when was the bone? It was yesterday, Monica. Oh my gosh, yeah, that put my heart in my chest, or in my stomach, I should say. But that was really crazy. There was a bone found on the St. Jude's construction site. However, they believe it's from the ancient cemetery that's been there, you know, since the 1800s. And I have to, you know, if the medical examiner was out there, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to show you guys bones and go through all this. You guys, there's Google, each of us. If you're watching me on your phone or on your computer, obviously you have Google, okay? So Google bones. There is major differences in bones, in the way bones look from the 1800s. 1900, I think 1800 would be the 1900, and the you know, whatever they call 2000s. You can see there's a lot of, it's a lot more degraded. The processes that they used back then, they don't necessarily use today. I would have to think the bones would be more pitted. Just a lot more destruction and deterioration of the human bone that would be noticeable, 100 years noticeable to a trained ME. You know, they're trained to know what type of bones they're dealing with, so he knew he was dealing with a bone. He probably knew exactly what bone he was dealing with on the human body, and probably why he took it in, because I can tell you, we found bones before, and there's been law enforcement that came out there and said, no, these are this bones, and they would not collect them. So if they collected the bones, then they believe they may be human. They put the caveat on it because, you know, the ME must have noticed that major deterioration of the bone to imply that it was very, very, very old. And they just probably used a little bit of deductive reasoning and realizing that they are building on a burial ground, which I'm not even going to get into that. To each their own. It's my problem alone. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's creepy. I'm just saying. I think it's creepy. But I digress. I'll find another place to take. I'll worry about stuff like that. You're taking your child to a hospital because they're very, very sick, and you basically are taking them to a hospital that desecrated God knows how many graves. I don't know. I mean, if I'm in a pinch, obviously we got to go to the hospital the closest. But knowing what I know about that hospital, I'd probably find one that's the second closest. I'm superstitious like that. I'm sorry, I am. Milk is loaded with fat. I know, that's why. Well, you can tell when I drink too much milk. I start, like, you can hear, like, my voice gets raspy. It's not like I'm allergic to it. It gets it all phlegmy. It's kind of gross. I don't want to talk about that. Oh, SVD teacher, thank you. God bless you, honey. God bless you. I love the lemon head because, I always say turn lemons into lemonade. I love it. Pickle Toe, it's nice to see you. Annie, it's nice to see you as well. So what I'm trying to get at, oh, I missed another one. Sorry, Misty. I'm missing everything. I was raised on horse cattle ranch, and we know that animals are being fed hormones, etc., to make them grow. But it's, you know what? When you see them cleaning the chicken breast, I watched the process. You can literally see them poke this thing into the meat, and it's a liquid that goes in, and the meat expands, and your breast just doubled in size. And I'm like, and this is chicken breast. And I eat chicken more than anything else possible because I think it's, the cleanest, you get, I like the flavor, and I can literally cook it a million different ways. I can literally have chicken every single night and not realize I'm having chicken because I literally have recipes. I bet you I could write a freaking novel, an encyclopedia of recipes for chicken. I cook chicken that much. And when I see a tube go into the meat that I eat and fill it up, it makes me kind of, ugh. But I don't even want to know what was in the chicken pot pie, frozen banquet chicken pot pie I ate last night. I'm going to stop. So we started talking about, we got all Chris and Katie's timeline. Well, we don't really have their timeline down. Well, I mean, we know Katie's full of shit. And we know Chris is full of shit, but we've only focused on Katie. So now it's time to fill in the full of crap that Crystal Clear Chris is all about, right? And so Crystal Clear Chris, he's not telling us where he was or what he's doing. He's letting everybody else talk for him so he doesn't have to be held accountable for he's not Flintco. I'm just saying, he's not Flintco material. Somebody needs to call Flintco. We heard their motto yesterday. I like Flintco, but he's not taking accountability or responsibility. He is not Team Flintco. I'm telling you, not Team Flintco at all. He's Team Shithead. And he acts like it. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm saying. Just saying. But we've got cameras. Now it's time to get to work. I've got my eyes on cameras. That's all that matters. So now I know that they're an hour behind me. I know when to keep my eyeballs on these cameras to see what is going on at that job site. So booyah, Mr. Chris, I'm challenging you, sir, Bob, with factual, corroboratable data. And I'm going to find out that man was not at his job at 5:15. I guarantee I'm going to find out that this man was not at his job at 5:15. Now, if he is, I'll make sure you guys know, because I absolutely do not believe he was there at 5:15. But if he was, I bet y'all still be able to make it work. Now that we gained a whole hour with the drive time. We gained a whole hour in drive time. We're going to be putting that to the test when I get there. It sounds like Terry Lynn already has. So I'm almost 100% confident we have shaved an hour off Mr. Chris's, Crystal Clear Chris's timeline. And I believe he would have only had to, leave. If we lost an hour, because he kept saying doorstep to doorstep, 3 hours and 37 minutes or something to that effect. Don't quote me on the exact minute. That's Chris's job. So if we shaved an entire hour off, I told you that he had to be out of there. In order to be there by 5:15, we said 3 hours and 15 minutes, about that time. So that would take him to 2 p.m., y'all. This would take him, just that hour shaved, takes us to him being able to be on that site up until 3. The car was seen at 3:30 to 4. We are almost there. We are almost there. We can almost put him with the car. Not quite. I mean, we still got a few more steps to actually physically put him with the car. But we're getting close to him being the operator of his mother's car out in front of that camera. Almost. So I'm looking at these cranes, and there were some emails that did come in, and I did read them. We've got pictures. We've got, we're going to call her M&M too, because it's not the same M&M I talk about. It's another one that has the initials M&M, and it's related to the cams, and the fact that M&M actually has the ability, she drives right by the St. Jude's Project. Right by the St. Jude's Project. Yesterday, she was there 3 different times. She was there at 11 a.m., she was there at 4:30, and she was there at 10:30. At 10:30, there was no construction going on at the time. I don't know who's that. We'll go ahead and get that taken care of. Yeah. So you have to have just cause. I know it's easy for ignorant people that don't know the law, and I'm saying this insulting to the person that was just hidden, not to the rest of my audience. You guys come here to learn. She comes here to, or actually it's probably a he, comes here to harass. So there's, you have to understand that you have to go through certain things. You can't just say, oh, I don't like this person, so I want to keep them from coming around me. No, they have to actually be a danger or a threat to you, which I'm not a danger or a threat to anyone. Okay? The only thing that I'm a danger to, a threat of Jonathan, is him getting his ass chewed out the next time I see him. That is about as much of a threat as I am to that man. And he can't handle the tongue lashing that he's about to get from me the next time I have an opportunity to see him. That's what he's trying to avoid. Well, it's not going to happen, because I already have a shirt with his girlfriend on it that says homewrecker, and that I plan on wearing out at every job that we are out together. Everybody will know. Yes, that is very vindictive. Now you can claim me and put that check in the vindictive spot. But everything else I've been saying has been 100. And people want to sit there and play. I told you guys, half holy, half hood. You can pray with me, but don't play with me. You push my buttons, I'll push right back. Oh well. Oh well. That's what happens. All I'm going to say is don't be fishing in other people's pond, and learn to keep your damn legs closed. And that goes for all the men and women out there that are in relationships. I'm just saying. Just saying. But I think I'm wearing it well. I think I'm wearing it well, and I'm doing it right? I got a little puppy coming. My plants are, oh, you guys want to see? They didn't grow very much, but they're living. I'm keeping them alive. Hey, right? They tell me in therapy. I don't go to therapy anymore, but I used to go to the crap out of therapy. I used to go crap out of therapy. Ugh. And see, I've even been dutiful enough. Look at this. I've even been dutiful enough to actually measure my water so I do not overwater this thing, which I kind of have it a little overwatered. That's why I started using it. Look at that. We got flowers. They're not growing very. I only got 3 of them. The other ones didn't grow out because I know see, I've already killed one. Look at that. See? There's one. So they did grow out. I just killed one. But the rest of them are looking good. You can't expect all of them to sprout, but I expected more to sprout. But I think it's me. Okay, I don't have a green thumb. But the project was to keep it alive, okay? It's still living, all right? I just want to make sure everybody knows we have a live plant here, okay? We have a live plant. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. This is the first for me. This is like the step in the right direction, right? First the plant, then the animal, then you know you're ready to, right? Get kicked out of the nest. Isn't that how it's supposed to go? I don't know. I'm still recovering. Ugh. But I think it's cool. So anyways, this woman goes by these towers, and she's checking, not because she's stalking them, just for clarification for the idiot in the back. Not because she's stalking them, it's because she's driving by and she knows how to walk and chew gum. So she can drive by and record. Imagine that. And as you can see, she is on the freeway. So I thought I'd share with you, nighttime drive. Nothing. No cranes. No movement. Lots of equipment. No people. No peoples. So, again, no peoples. That trashy commentator was posting on his site warning him about you. They're just stinking pot stirrers. Ignore them. Oh, I really could care less what they write about me. At this point, people are tuned out. I mean, there's a small little echo chamber of like maybe 7,500 people that are out of a billion people that don't like Bullhorn Buddy. I'm perfectly okay with that. You know why? Because they're weak. Because people that have to follow somebody are weak people. They're literally following the worst case scenarios. They're saying that these parents are innocent. There's no way that these parents are innocent. Any channel that's spewing that, tell them to produce some receipts, because we produce receipts over here as to why I feel these parents are not innocent. Did I miss anything? Just humping on. Hey, Mama Bear. Yeah, we're just going over some of the stuff that we just went over a video. It doesn't look like, it looked like around 10:30 last night, the St. Jude's project is shut down. It didn't appear to be any, nobody was working. And I believe around 7:41, the cranes worked for the first time. So that would make sense, because you guys don't understand, in these cranes, those stacks where the crane is way up there, like Chris has to climb that. He's got to climb all the way up there to his crane. So every 20 feet, they have a platform, so you can climb up and you can rest. And then you climb up another 20 feet and you rest. And then you climb up another 20 feet and you rest. So you have several different platforms that you can rest at. But he's got to climb all the way up to the top of that crane where his, controllers and everything is for that crane. His box is attached to that long pole that you see moving and picking up and dropping stuff off. He's way up there controlling that. Okay? So 7:41 appears to be around the time that things started moving over at the project today. Does that mean that's absolute? No, this is just one day. We need multiple days of information to get a good idea when this project closes down for the night and when it opens up the next morning. Now, the other question would be, is there any reason for him to show up for work at 5:15? That would be another thing that we're going to have to try to close that worry box. If there's no need for him to be there and he was there, that might be a red flag. If there was no need for him to be there and he's saying he was there when he's not, again, another red flag. So I think that this is going to produce whatever it's going to produce. He was either there or he wasn't. And if he wasn't, it means one thing. If he was, it means one thing. So we've just got to wait until we find out. But today it's looking like that at night, this project is shut down so far, based on 1 day's. So once we get a couple more days, we'll have a good understanding. The guy on Facebook that works with said he wasn't there, so where is 515? I'm looking for it. The 515 came from Heather Cohen, the PI that was chummy with Chris Proudfoot during her tenure with Seth without his knowledge, which was interesting. Only safety meetings and regular meetings in general, but everyone would be on the ground. Yeah, well, you know, even like today's solidified. Like the cranes were starting to move and operational around 7:30 to 7:41. You know, if that's the case, that is right timing for somebody being at work on time at 7 o'clock and having to make that climb all the way to the top of that crane. You know what I'm saying? They have to climb all the way to the top of that crane. So it could take a good half hour, 20 to 30 minutes to get up there. I could see where that is the case. And it takes them just the same coming down off the crane. They have to walk down off the crane. So I you know, that does make sense. And it kind of feeds into the 7 a.m. start time. So we are working on these key things. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer to it. Just know that we are working to resolve those. Now, again, it doesn't matter what we uncover. It matters what law enforcement uncovers. We all know that. Law enforcement is running this case. There's been a lot of craziness that has infiltrated this case. It was perpetrated by a group of people that are coordinated and closely work together. And that really caused a lot of problems. And it's also created the toxicity on one particular group for people to now go out and manufacture stuff and peddle it. And it's really sad because every time that gets called into law enforcement, it slows down the case. It's almost as if the people that are trying to say that they're helping under these anonymous accounts are intentionally and willfully trying to throw monkey wrenches into the case to slow down law enforcement. Now, I don't know if there's any type of criminal legality that can come of it, but I can promise you if any of those things come into my chat, they are being turned over to law enforcement. And at some point, I am going to pull my political card and start calling some higher ups to see what can be done about it. Because to be honest with you, Marcia's in that state. You know? And she is a good person that I personally know. And, you know, it's just one of those things. I know her from politics. It's not that we're friends or anything like that, but she's seen me. I've seen her. We've chatted. We've had conversations. That would be my first go-to. But this has got to stop. If anybody posts that garbage, I'm turning it over. And I'm starting to record it, and I'll start turning it over to the politicians in that state. And when they get sick and tired of reading all this crap, maybe they'll start putting laws in place that go after these bad actors that are doing this. This is real life. This is a criminal investigation. What would you be doing if it was your child, your friend, your mother, your father, somebody that you love? And I'm talking to the people that are doing this in this case, that are intentionally going out of their way to manufacture bullcrap. I wish I could, Steffers. I wish I could. You know, I'm high up. I ain't that high up. Right now, I got access to him, his security, his Secret Service, and his right-hand man. That's about it. And that's too high up. That's out of his league. And he's going to be, actually, I'm going to probably, I'll be rooting for him. I need a shirt. I thought somebody had said there was a shirt coming or something that it says I'm voting for a convicted felon or something like that. I don't know. I hadn't seen it come in yet, but somebody had wrote me. I can't even remember who it was. And I'm going to a sentencing. That's what I'm doing in New York. That's why I'm going to be out of here for a week. I'm going to be with my bullhorn out in front of Manhattan, screaming in a freaking bullhorn. That is exactly what I'll be doing. So just thought I'd throw that out there. If anybody wanted to know what's going on in my life, instead of people making it up, might as well just throw it out there. It might not be, LOL, yeah. Give the Donald my love. Are you kidding me? I'm giving the DA hell. I can't give love and hell on the same day. I mean, I got choices here. I got choices here, right? I'm gonna feel so bad. A lot of people, I don't think a lot of people realize that, you know, I have a funny feeling Donald Trump, I mean, he's gonna appeal this and he has good grounds for appeal, but I truly believe they're gonna get him in jail, and that scares the crap out of me. Because, you know, they wanna, you know, it's bothersome. It is so bothersome for me. Because this is unprecedented. What they're doing is like people that don't do politics, they don't realize what this party is doing, and how dangerous this is for like the future. Like they're setting precedent for future. And, you know, this is going to turn out, even if not now, somebody is going to use this down the road to hijack this country. And it's not going to, it might not even be in our lifetime. But what they're doing right now is so dangerous, and people don't understand how the law works, and they're rooting it on, not realizing even what they're rooting on. And I'm just sitting here just, this needs to go to the Supreme Court, but the bottom line is I really believe he's going to have to go in. And I don't know how they're going to do that. Are they going to be able to let Secret Service be around him at all times, you know, and it's still on their turf, not his. I don't know how they're going to handle this. Like, I think a prior sitting president should, you know, it's because of the security threat alone, like he should be able to be house monitored until the 13th juror or any appeals are. I'm saying this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And even more so, I mean, for the people on the other side of the aisle that thinks this is cool, this can be used against your person down the road. You better think very, very cautiously about this. Whether you feel about this man, you need to look at the legality of this. Yeah, I'll be in New York. I will absolutely. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to be in New York from the 9th to the 12th or the 13th. I've already got the rooms, everything. We will be there. So I'm going to be there. I don't know if I'm going to be there from the 9th to the 13th because we have travel time. It's going to take us 2 days to travel and 2 days back. So I think we're there a night or two. So Trump making treats is... I agree with you 100%, Betty, about President Trump. Yeah, and it doesn't really matter whether you agree with him or not. It's the pure legality of it. You got to look at that. See, even if this was, the shoe was on the other foot, and say that this was Biden, you guys know how I feel about that man. I would still be saying the same thing, because this is so really, really bad. And it's just not true. It's, you know... I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, but I can tell you what they did to this man and how they took this potentially misdemeanor case and turned it into felonies. It just doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense in the legal sense. I know people out there that don't understand the law don't understand how it doesn't make sense, because it doesn't make sense legally. According to the way the statutes are written, it doesn't make sense how they were able to do this. So I think he's got some really good grounds, but anyways, I digress. So I'll be out there. And then, of course, we've got Sebastian Rogers. I'm going to be there. So how I'm going to do this is I'm going to be in Hendersonville, Tennessee for like 2 or 3 days. And then I'm going to be going to Layla Santinello. They're having a vigil. I'm not sure what all we're going to do. We heard that we may be doing a protest at the Kingsport Police Department. I don't know. I'm still trying to get all the details on that. That may be something later down the road. She's just wanting some help. She's been cut out, you know, how that all works out. And so we'll figure that out. But there's definitely a vigil, and I believe it's like 6 o'clock, but I just don't know the exact location just yet. So we'll be doing that on the 27th. That's her 1-year milestone for Layla. And so I expect it to be, you know, pretty hard. But if anybody wants to come out there and support me, support our channel, support Layla, support the family, please come out there. We're going to be putting something on. I'm not putting it on at all. But whatever's planned is going to be put on. And it's going. I just know it's going to be beautiful. And, you know, we need to say a prayer for this family and do what we can do. Misty, how can we as a community start the process? Propose Sebastian's Law. Mandatory for Ellie to investigate. Well, see, I have 2 parts to this Sebastian's Law, and I don't think people are and people haven't talked about it. So I'd like to see something like that. But I also like not just them treating it as a missing runaway. I also want to put a time constraint on when forensics needs to be done. So, for example, if there has not been any sightings or anything in 2 weeks, or they've been dismissed, then they are required to immediately start doing forensics at the last known location of that person, if it makes sense. You need to add a caveat if it makes sense, because the last known location might be a bus stop. And I still think they should do forensics, but the forensics at, say, a bus stop, a public bus stop, would be pretty treacherous without a little more information. So I would think, but definitely with a child missing from home, I think there should be a caveat in there, like 7 days, 2 weeks, or something that forces them to collect forensics. Because this right here, I think, does not bode with any type of proper policing, in my opinion. But I like the idea, and yes, I think we should have a Sebastian's Law, but I think we need to have something in there forcing Tennessee to do forensics, because I never want something like this to happen. I feel like inside that home, something happened to this boy. I don't care if law enforcement believes it or not. I believe it, and I think at the end of the day, they should have done forensics by now. There's no good excuse for them not to have forensics, and I will not accept them saying to the public that we have turned over every stone to find Sebastian, when there's still the major stone called forensics that hasn't even been touched. I've already started doing my research. I wanted to tell you that tonight or tomorrow night, I'm not sure if I'm going to run it tonight or tomorrow night, on our 8 o'clock show, we are going to start breaking down the forensics, the best practices, like the policies and procedures law enforcement should be using. We're going to be talking about when the forensics should be done. We're going to be talking about what the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children, and what their policies and procedures, their best practices for law enforcement, what they should be doing during these times of a missing person. And we're going to start comparing that to Sumner County, and we're going to grade Sumner County as to whether they've done everything that should have been done in this case, because I'm sick of having the argument that they have turned over every rock and every stone, yet here we are 4 months later, and we can't get an answer from them that they have done forensics in that home where that child disappeared from and allegedly walked out, but there's no evidence that he did. It's irritating. It's pissing me off, because we know that holds the keys. Katie is not talking. We need to find the answers the other way, and law enforcement isn't trying to find the answers, in my opinion. Go to his room. Everybody's saying, go to the boy's room, 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 do forensics in the room, do the forensics in the room. No forensics. They didn't even dust the freaking door. This was so John Benet Ramsey and their handling of this. It's not even funny. You would think that our policing in Tennessee has come up a step from the 1990s. They did exactly what caused delays in the John Benet Ramsey case. The whole reason why the case went cattywampus is because he had all these people in the house contaminating the effing crime scene. It's so John Benet Ramsey, so 1990s policing. It's time to reinvigorate new law in Tennessee. It's time to start moving the brass, top brass. It's time to recycle them. It's time to move them out, get them retired, and get some new blood in their law enforcement in Tennessee, in all branches. In all branches. It's time for them to start letting new blood come in, and it's time to start letting some younger people that can think outside of the box get in here and start really working these things. We need to start promoting some of these younger bucks up, because this old style policing is for the birds. It's for the birds. I just took us back to 1990s in Sumner County. That's unacceptable to me in 2024. So we need to hone in on Chris, and we need to hone in on forensics. These are our areas. These are our, our final areas that we need to answers on. And then, of course, in 4 days, I'm going to be heading out there. So whatever we can't answer from here, we're going to be answering from there. But I've got very specific information I'm going out to acquire. And I'm not spending a lot of time on acquiring information as much as I am going to be locating and identifying areas to search. That is going to be my primary focus when I go out there. But there are some key information that I still need to button even my maps up. And it comes down to Chris. And so that's where my focus is going to be. If you guys know anything about the project at St. Jude's, if any of you guys can go by there several times a day, we do have one very, very, very kind person that has been going by there, but I know there's a lot more. And if we can get different angles, that would be awesome. So I'm just going to say everybody that does drive by there that can record it, please send it to me and let me know what time of day you went by. I'm eager to learn about this construction project, but more importantly, the starting and the finishing times of the days. So we want to know when this construction starts popping and when it starts winding down. And before we leave, I know there was a couple more things that came in here. Let me just change my chat moderation so I can go through all of your stuff here so I don't miss anybody. Thank you, Misty, for contributing today. That was very gracious of you. God bless you for that. So we talked about the polluting SPED teacher. Thank you again for the lemon head and the hug. I appreciate it. God bless you for that. I raise cattle, know the fed hormones. Yep, that was about that. How can we as a community, I think we resolved that. Philip, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And then Misty says, what I meant is part of Sebastian's law is making mandatory that homes, vehicles, devices are treated as crime sprees, or crime scenes immediately after. Then that would kind of cover the forensics. Within 48 hours, if no evidence is found. Boom, there we go. I love that. I love that. That hits it. See, I was thinking 12 days because I didn't want them to, but you know what? 48 hours really needs to be. It needs to be the target because we know if our kids are abducted, if our kids are in danger, their lifespan in that danger is very limited, okay? Sometimes, you know what? People say we have up to 3 hours to get children. Like if they're abducted, they say we have 3 hours. That's the best case scenario. Do you know that the majority of these children are dead within the first 20 minutes? After they're assaulted the way that the monster wants to assault them, they're gone. And that typically happens right away because they don't have much time. So they know that. And so people are looking at this, 3 hour window of time to find somebody. And that's the best case scenario. Or excuse me, the best case scenario. It's usually, I would say within the first 20 or 30 minutes is the most critical. First 5 minutes is the most critical, honestly. If this case was in Kentucky, they would be in jail. If this case was anywhere other than Tennessee, they would be in jail, Michelle. Like, if this happened in New York, they would be in jail. If it happened in California, they would be in jail. And those are the two worst states. California don't even like executing search warrants, And these parents would be behind bars if they were in California. That's saying that, like I said, when it comes to this, I like Tennessee. I have a lot of friends that are politicians in Tennessee. I'm a Tennessee-friendly state. I just, this aspect of it, this right here, the child crimes in that state are what I have a problem with. The state itself is, but they're behind. And that's, I like a lot of the politicians in there, but if they're not doing their job, they're not doing their job. Tennessee seems to have a problem when it comes to children cases there. If they're not found, we got problems. It's like they go into a file and nobody gets charged, ever. Ever. They got so many cold cases with missing people and no bodies. None of them are getting closed out. You don't need a body to take a case to trial. You just can't go for first degree. I'm sorry, I'd rather have second degree all day long than know that these monsters got to walk the earth for 20 or 30 years without punishment. What the hell's the point if you're going to put them in jail when they're 60 or 80 years old? I mean, what's their life expectancy behind bars? I'd rather get them when they're young where they can serve the 10 or 15 or 20 years. It's a joke. It's a joke. They've got to do something different. But you got to have more evidence than obviously they have even to arrest that what they've got right now. Those people would be arrested in every single state. Katie would have literally been arrested, I would say by day 4. If this case happened in Florida, you wouldn't have to worry about forensics are done here in the state of Florida. Like they pull the forensic truck in and they go in your house within 48 hours. It is no joke here in Florida. They would, I get it, Tammy, but they would have you know, a lot of people are told a lot of word salad by law enforcement, but I can tell you from where I'm sitting, something isn't right in Denmark. They haven't done forensics. How are they going to get the evidence necessary to arrest them when they're not looking for the right evidence to arrest them with? Those forensics could have already been started. Do you guys realize if they did this forensics today, it's still going to be almost 9 months now before we get them back? If they would have done them up front, they would have rushed that through because of the urgency of this case. And we would have most likely started getting some of those DNA results back. But because of law enforcement and their lack of doing this critical task, they have lost literally months in the investigation. So now if they were to go in there tomorrow, we would not get an arrest for Katie or Chris for at least another 9 to 10 months. How do you like them apples? How do you like them apples? Who is their law enforcement really working for there? I just like to see forensics done. That's all. You know, I got to pressure where I can pressure, and this is my pressure. I'd like to see. I don't want the results. I mean, of course, I'd take them. Right? I'd love to have the news. Now, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is I just rather them do it. Right? I'd rather it just get done. I don't care about the results. I care about the activity being done and making sure it doesn't stop an ongoing investigation. And it seems to me that Sumner County, if still true, you know, we haven't been there in a while. We don't know if they've gone in. Have they gone in since to do forensics? It's possible that they have. You know, we might be beating up on law enforcement and they may have done forensics a month ago. Right? We don't know. We only know what we know from back in March when we got our last press conference from law enforcement. That's all we have to work for and work from. And back then, there was no latent fingerprints done and there was no forensics done. Now, has that been accomplished now? We don't know. Why don't we know? Because law enforcement isn't talking to the public. They ain't talking to the public. Katie was out. We did confirm that photo going around is Katie Proudfoot. The one from the restaurant with the little girl, thank goodness they cut the little girl's face off because I didn't want to post it. I would have. People can be upset with me, but in a public place, you can record, you can take pictures, and it's nothing illegal. They were at a public restaurant. Therefore, they can be captured on camera. So is it right, wrong, or indifferent? When you send me stuff, if you don't want something in your photos that you send me, it's your responsibility to take it out. Okay? Just FYI. So we did look at the information here, and it does appear that it is Chris, or excuse me, Katie. I've matched up the tattoos. She does have a tattoo on her arm. And here it is. I thought I put it up here in the big stuff. Did I not? Oh, I must have taken it on my, my other phone. So there it is. There's her in the Chronicles of Olivia interview. There is the tattoo and the bracelet on her hand there. In the picture that we just saw, she has a watch, the bracelet, and the tattoo. So let me go to that picture so you guys can see that it truly is her. I have, you know, obviously, now there's a couple things that you guys need to know. Katie appears to me, this is just my personal opinion. And here's the tattoo right there, right there. So this is her. This is with her without a doubt. She changed her hair color, and she's now wearing glasses. So she is going out of her way now to change her appearance in the public. That has me concerned. And she's sitting there enjoying her life with another kid when her son has been missing, and she hasn't got off her ass not one time to go help look for her own son, the child she gave birth to, that she spit out of her own britches. And she's caring for somebody else's child. That is terrifying to me. This woman, to me, being able to have this face sitting next to another, like, I feel like she's a psychopath. Like, through and through psychopath. Just my opinion. But I don't know of anybody else that can do something like that. But I wanted you guys to see, because I know it floats around. I know you guys value me looking into stuff like this. That to me is her. And it was corroborated with her tattoo. Now, could some two people have similar tattoos from that far? Of course it could. Of course, that could not be Katie at all. And I may be imagining that it's the side of her face with dyed hair and glasses. Like she tried to change her appearance and stuff. But I could be wrong about that, you know. Maybe it wasn't her, and maybe she wasn't trying to hide who she is. I don't know. But it seemed like she was trying to hide who she is. I don't know. You know, I don't know. You know how I get on these little kicks when people start, you know, trying to change themselves, running away from home, and then all of a sudden you start wearing glasses when you never wore glasses, and your hair is brown when it used to be red. That is Katie. Yeah. It definitely is her. Without a doubt. That little body next to her is Faith, sitting next to her. Faith is sitting next to Katie. That terrifies me. That terrifies me on all levels. And I just want Sumner County, if they're watching, or if the FBI or TBI is watching this, thank you for putting that child in danger. Thank you. We here on social media appreciate it. We absolutely appreciate you putting yet another child in harm's way, because you guys won't do forensics and you guys won't make an arrest. There's enough here. There's enough here for something. I'm sorry, there just is. I don't know. There just is. There just is. And if they need some help, you know, maybe they need to ask us. I'm sorry, but we get it. And we get the job done. Sorry. Government is risking a child. Yes, I believe Katie lost her stuff. What's going to keep her from losing her stuff on Faith? How is she home alone with this child? Where is Faith when Chris is at work? Scroll up. Hold on. I miss. Sorry guys, I miss all the emails in here. Yes, Tammy, I had 2 Tennessee residents request the call to LE made from CP. They have not released it. Yeah, I don't think they will, Barbecue Lady. I really don't. There's a lot. I've been trying to get the 911 call for the Idaho 4. I've been trying to get that we're going on 2 years now. They won't release it. Sebastian has been missing for 114 days as of today. Sebastian, we will not give up on you until he is found. Thank you. Thank you so much, Misty. God bless you. All right, guys. Well, that's really it. We're going to definitely be going through this case. We're focusing on 2 things, 2 areas of concern for me right now. And those are the only things that I really want anything on right now, and that is when St. Jude's stops their construction for the day, and then when they resume construction the next day. That's 1. And 2, any experience, like I got a lot, we like almost have 900 people. Oh, which reminds me, guys, don't forget to go out here and like and thumb up this stuff. I go through a lot of stuff. I'm reading. I'm literally up day and night covering everything. And I know that you guys don't get to see all the work that I do back here, but you can look at me and tell that this girl looks a little tired, okay? I'm here working around the clock. When I wake up, I work. When I go to sleep, I sleep. When I wake up, I work. You get the drift? And so I'm trying to find out anything about the forensics processes. I know that I have a lot of people. If you are in law enforcement or you have a husband or family member in law enforcement, I'm trying to look for proper protocols of when forensics should be done in a missing person. We've got the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children that has recommendations, but they're just like that. They're recommendations. They're not laws. They're not the policies and procedures. But if I can get an idea of what law enforcement's policies and procedures are related to that specific aspect, very general. I'm not looking for, secret stuff or anything like that. Just very general, just something that gives me a little bit more knowledge on this specific topic when it comes to missing children. I'd greatly appreciate the enlightenment. So if you could do that. Also, I got to try to remember tonight, I need to reach out to the crane operator after 6. I've got a lot of questions related to the crane, the functioning of the crane, and stuff like that. And one of our subscribers said that I could speak to her husband, and he would be willing to just kind of chat with me about, generalities, and probably would know more about what I need to know about them than not. So I'm going to hopefully get in contact with this person and get some more understanding of the crane and its capabilities, and also learn, what would make, what situations would be created where somebody would need to come in, significantly early before their job. Because it seems like on a job like that, Chris would not be responsible for the receiving of material. But again, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know how that's handled. That's a great question to have. I don't like assuming that, he would even handle that. He may not have anything to do with that. So maybe even going further back, would he have anything to do? How are shipments brought into a large construction site? How are they handled on large construction sites? So those are going to be kind of the questions in the realm I'm going to go down with the crane operator, in addition to some crane stuff. In my opinion, they all need to be held accountable. TBI, Sumner County, all of them put that baby in danger. Yes. Yes, they did. CPS, is CPS monitoring the situation? They were just in that house for Sebastian. How do they feel about another child being in that house with them? Something was going on in that house for this child to disappear like he did. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We all know that this children just don't vaporize in somebody's locked home. It's inconceivable. I mean, if we were in a movie, anything's possible in a movie, but we're not. We're in reality. Things like that don't happen, I'm going to have to reread that. I'm sorry. I'm not reading it right. Shame on the law for putting faith in danger. I even thought, people were complaining about the judge in New Mexico, but I understood the judge's situation in New Mexico. Chris and Katie, they haven't been named as persons of interest or any hint of a crime. They haven't. And they haven't been arrested, and they haven't been convicted. It's hard to go in there and say, but they're under investigation. Where? Law enforcement is saying publicly nobody's under investigation, that nobody's been cleared, and this is not a criminal investigation. That's what they're telling us publicly. What is that judge supposed to do? Like, his hands are tied. He has to follow the law. And based on the stuff right now, he has nothing to prevent him. He would be derelict of his judgeship, in my opinion, if he didn't allow Chris to have custody or visitation with the daughter based on what we have right now, because Sumner County hasn't done anything to flag him or tag him. As soon as that's done, then Nina would have had a little more meat on the bone to bite at to keep Faith out of there. Aw, thank you, Lisa. God bless you. So that's just kind of where we're at. That's true, Betty. But man, if something happens, I get it. And a judge will feel terrible about it, but the law is the law. You guys know me. I believe in the law. I act within the confines of the law. The law is not perfect, but it's what we have. And if we were in Chris's shoes and we didn't do anything wrong, this is the law that protects those people, right? So when you don't do anything wrong, they still can't take your children or your visitation rights away. And there's a lot of men right now that are being able to see their child because of that. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. You're kind of damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But there is a level of risk, just like there's a level of risk in any relationship and any divorce. One of the worst times for a lady leaving an abusive relationship is leaving. That's the most dangerous time. So we got to apply all that. So there is dangers, and judges are meant to limit those dangers. But a danger nonetheless. It would have been very hard if I was in Nina's shoes. Like, I would have probably quit work and rented a hotel down the road from him if that was my child. Hey, Miss Colts, it's nice to see you. Oh, Allie, it's nice to see you as well. Sneaking in, salty mama. Salty mama. Well, I'm not as salty today. Now that I know that people are preoccupied on the border, I'm a much more relaxed person. I feel like the case can get a fair shake. And really have people start looking at some facts on this case. So, all right, guys, I love you. We're over our time. We'll be back later this afternoon, or we'll definitely be back this evening. I'm still not ready to open up the phone lines just yet. But we will get the phone lines open sooner than later so we can really start discussing this case. I will be out in the Tennessee area in just a few days. And if you guys are out there and you guys know where I'm at, I don't bite. Come up, say hi to me. I'm happy to take a selfie with you. I'm happy to talk to you about this case. If you have confidential information you'd like to share with me, you can do it at that time. I do not share my sources or my information if you don't want me to. If it's something that you have something and you want to have an interview or something like that and share your story to the world, I'm happy to facilitate that as well, but it's not a requirement. I just want information. However I can get the information, I'm willing to take it as long as it's legit. We need to find this boy. There's a lot of questions that I have that need to be answered so we can start looking at, because right now I'm all over the place with the maps. If I can hone in on specific areas even further, it would cut down a lot of time. It'll be one of those things where you can get in, hit it, and quit it. You know what I'm saying? Clear the area, move out. Clear this area, move out. I'm going to be there pretty much by myself, so it's going to be, if anyone wants to come out and help, I'm always down with other bodies next to me, So it's just we don't really, I don't do these methodical searches looking for microscopic evidence. I'm looking for a human being. I'm looking for a large subject. Okay, so I'm looking for large pieces on the ground. I'm looking for soft ground underground. So I know what I'm looking for there. But one thing I'm not looking for is a fiber. Okay, is a piece of microscopic material. So anybody that thinks we need to do these grid searches and stuff like that, we ain't doing that. That's not how we roll when we do searches for Bullhorn Betty. I'm not SAR certified. I don't care to be. Have I taken training? Yes, I have. I don't want to do that. We're looking for a large subject. I'm looking for large subjects. And once we find the large subject, we move out of the area and let the people investigate it that need to investigate and do their grid searches and whatnot. That's how we roll. So we get in, we get out. We get in, we get out. We get in, we get out. That's how we roll. So that's where I want to go. But that's where I'm going to be going. I will tell you guys where I'm at, where I'll meet you guys at. If people want to come out and help me search, I can get a location and we can go out together. Thing is, everybody has their own level of what they can do as far as help. So if you're short-winded and you can only come out for an hour, or you have disabilities, stay on flat surface type searches and limit your searches. I'm happy for people to come out just to say hi. I'm happy for people coming out to donate 1 hour of their time. I'm happy people coming out to donate their whole entire time. But just FYI, when I'm going, I don't slow. So if you can't keep up, be careful. Go in pairs. I go alone, but always be in pairs. So in case we do get separated, you are not by yourself. I go out here and do this stuff a lot. So if I separate, I'm well aware and well capable of taking care of myself in just about almost every single type of terrain. So don't worry about me. Just worry about yourself and keep yourselves together. We try to keep everybody together at all times. But just in case, just best practices, I prefer you guys having buddy systems and everything like that, just in case we do get separated or something does happen where you have to go back to your car or something like that. I can't turn around and walk you back. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'd love to help. So if anybody wants to come out and help, just plan on probably I'll be pulling in on the 22nd into the I would say probably by the 23rd or the 24th I'll be out in the woods searching. That should give me enough time to speak to the people I need to speak to out there and identify some great areas to get my boots in. And I also got to check the land records to make sure I'm not, encroaching on anybody's property. And if I am, that I go and introduce myself and see if they have a problem with it. Most people don't have a problem with it. They just like to be asked and they don't like being lied to. So as long as I'm honest with them, it doesn't guarantee that they'll allow me to search the property, but at least they'll respect the fact that I asked. And that's all we can do. We can't make them allow us on the property, but we can definitely show them courtesy and respect. So that's what we'll be doing out there. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be kind. More importantly, please be safe, and more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.